Hello, hello, everyone. Hey guys, how you doing? Roderick here, and this is the actual welcome back stream of mine. I hope you're very happy here. We are live on Twitch, YouTube, and Kick. There are two streams on YouTube, even though there probably should not be. I'm looking into where there is. I'm not able to stream to YouTube Shorts technically at the moment, so we'll see what is going on there. I'd rather just be like one instead of both because my internet is not that great. Geriatric, thank you for showing up, man. How are you doing today on this lovely Sunday afternoon? So, it is the Halloween season. Uh, I was talking with my girlfriend about her kid's outfit and some plans they're doing tonight. I was already supposed to be somewhere tonight. Otherwise, those plans got canceled though. So I don't know what I'm doing yet. I know on Halloween Day I'm going to be very boring. My girlfriend and I are going to go to a few bookstores because that is things that book lovers do. She is more booky than me. But there is a few other places we're gonna go. We got some kid free time, so we're gonna actually enjoy it. I'm well, watching football, chilling. My pastor this morning was talking about the Vanderbilt game, and he was like, it's kind of one of those weird years. Vanderbilt's actually doing good, and I'm not a sports guy at all, so I was just kind of like, you know. But I'm glad to hear that you're enjoying yourself. My family is mostly the ones that do cheer on football. They are mostly Tennessee Vols fans because, well, we live in Tennessee. I have one odd cousin that is a Vanderbilt fan, and then I have some extended family that are Georgia fans. My girlfriend's family, I think the only football team I've seen them cheer for is, I just like to bet on football. There's a lot of guys I work with that do that. They do that. They also have fantasy football. We have one for our work area. There is another one. Some of them are in. One of my coworkers is in two. He's in the one for our work group, and he has one with his family. I kind of look at it as the sports people. Fantasy football, I see as the sport equivalent to Dungeons and Dragons. Um, and if you remember back when Let's Plays and people streaming and recording and posting videos on gaming first got popular, um, there was the common saying, like, why would you want to watch someone play a game when you could play it yourself? And it's like, well, people watch others play sports all the time. So, you know? All in whatever you like. I mean, for example, I game a lot, but as you can tell behind me here, I read and I collect anime figures. That reminds me, I forgot to turn this on. I knew I forgot something today. There we go. It hasn't been dusted since I got it about a month and a half ago. Um, yeah. I'm glad you found it. Glad you found that funny, geriatric. It is kind of true though. What's new over in? I know you're very heavily involved in Chadsy's community. I have not been able to be over there. My things have been very, 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 very busy. Um, the last little bit for me during the hiatus and everything else. So I talked about wanting to catch up with some people while I did this and kind of get into it before we started gaming. Because once I start gaming, it'll be really hard for me to like split focus. I'm not very good at multitasking. I try, but I end up stopping to talk a lot. I equate that to being old because I'm approaching the big 4-0. Um, One of the things that's happened in the recent couple of days is my girlfriend and I have decided we are going to try to buy a house. It'll mainly be me with my name on it. I wouldn't buy a house that doesn't have her and her little boy in mind. So I'm working with I'm working with a friend of the family who is a real estate agent, and I also am working with a bank that a friend of mine recommended. Um, Happens to be my bank. Funny enough, that was a funny coincidence. Um, so we're gonna see what happens. I filled out some paperwork, and I'm waiting to hear back what we're eligible for and all that fun stuff. Then comes the part that's not so fun. That's looking through houses, getting disappointed because we don't have enough and all that. So yeah, that's a more recent development. As you can tell, I like books. I mostly read or I mostly listen to books on Audible. I've finished a few this year. My little Audible thing came up and said that I've gotten through 37 titles so far. Um, it's lower than I thought it was gonna be. But I did hit a rut here recently, so I've slowed down a bit. Mainly because the one book that's right about here, Empire of the Damned, really hit kind of hard. That is probably the darkest I'll ever go as far as fiction. Not really ready for it. Wasn't ready for it at all. But all good. I've been doing a daily just chatting stream at 4 p.m. Eastern time. Enjoy connecting with everyone in the community. Yeah. I knew you streamed as well. Definitely pop over. I think the link to my Discord popped up a minute ago. If it did not, there you go. I have a self promo section. You could definitely pop it in there, buddy. I'd love to have you over there in the Discord. I'm still in the process of messing around with that. Um, there's some other new things coming. Um, Apparently, while I was gone, and I talked about this in one of the test streams, a lot of things happened while I was gone. One of the things that I kind of laughed at was, and it's mostly like pop culture news, but like, I feel like every day for probably a month and a half, I got a video dogging Pirate Software. Now, I didn't go super into it, but my problem with about yeah, no problem, geriatric. My problem with going after Thor is that he's been such a positive influence for Twitch in particular. As far as hey, go make things. It's okay to not do it right the first time. Something I personally struggle with, especially, is fear of failure. And there's a lot of people that are in that. I'm not alone in that, by the way. I've met people that are also like that. My girl and a few other creators I've talked to kind of have a similar thing. So it's like, I don't really understand it. And then when I looked a little bit into it, it had to do with a petition in the EU. And when I looked at it, I was like, the idea behind this is great. The spirit behind this is great. The actual like legislation they want to go for, I kind of agree with Thor. I don't think it's there yet. Like, I mean, he was a little more detailed with what he said, and he did kind of go after the guy that posted. Like, he did kind of call him an idiot, which idiot. He said that his ideas weren't. It's there, but not a good idea. V-Shell over on Kick. How you doing, man? Hey, buddy. Welcome to the stream. We are. Let's see. This is my second actual stream on Kick, so I apologies for any scuff. I'm still kind of new to multi-streaming and things like that. I will try to adjust things and get better as we go. But yeah, no, I saw that wall was gone, and I'm kind of like, okay, well, people can pile on them all they want. I don't care. I'm gonna still watch them and stuff like that. Um, some other things that happened while I was gone and wasn't streaming as much, or I wasn't streaming at all, is the more correct thing to say. um, Lots and lots and lots of Game of the Year talk. Now, I'm going to go ahead and say probably the most obvious thing I could say for those that have watched me for a while. Clair Obscur, Expedition 33, hands down. I don't even really see other games as competition in compared to that one. I am very biased on that, though, because I very much loved Expedition 33. It had the feel of an old Final Fantasy story, Gameplay, people keep wanting to say, "Oh man, turn-based games are back," and I'm like, that game is turn-based, but it's about as turn-based as uh, it is turn-based, but not really. It's very action-oriented, turn-based. So I personally think it's like a combination of turn-based active combat with a little bit of Souls-like in it, because you will get your butt whooped pretty hard if you don't pay attention, and you do kind of have to get good. But you combine the gameplay being amazing with probably one of the best stories for an original RPG that I've seen in years. Um, the voice acting, the characters are great. I'm a huge Lord of the Rings fan. So seeing Andy Serkis as the villain, Renoir, and then I'm also a big fan of Ben Starr, who voices Verso. Um, he is Clive in 16. I'm a giant fan of Jennifer English, who was Mael, and I think she did an amazing job. Honestly, Expedition 33 is the GOAT. Megan, how you doing, Megan? What's new with you, girl? Um, let's see. Other things that happened while I was gone. Well, there were the TwitchCon incidents this last week, but I hate to say this, I'm not really surprised. Because TwitchCon's kind of been a nightmare for a while. Some friends of mine went to some of the earlier ones, and there were issues then. So I can't really say I'm surprised. It's frustrating and it's idiotic that Twitch has let things get as bad as they have, but I'm not surprised. It has been so long, Megan. I'm trying to get back into the swing of things, and I think I finally got a schedule that works. Uh, with only 2 streams during the week, and then kind of this mini one on Sunday, like after church, after lunch, and all that stuff. How are you doing though? And how are streams going for you? I know you were playing. I saw you streamed all the Bayonetta games, and you were streaming something the other day when I popped in and just lurked for a bit. But I don't remember what it was. Um, for those of you that are new, I will mostly be playing. I will mostly be playing single player games while I'm streaming for right now because my internet is kind of crap. So while multi-streaming, it's really hard for me to play the FPS games my friends and I are really big fans of. For example, we like playing Helldivers. We've been getting into Battlefield 6. It's harder to get in. And of course, I play League of Legends with my girlfriend and a few others occasionally as well. Although when I stream, it's mostly by myself. I like League, as weird as that sounds. 1 second, let me check this. Yeah, this is the downfall of me multi-streaming, is nothing else wants to load. No, it won't load. Oh, I like how I get a notification for free Crunchyroll subscription, and I'm like, I kind of already have that. Oh well, is what it is. So I guess there's really no easy way to transition into this, but this is one of the bigger points I wanted to talk about. This song will give me the motivation to do it. Biggest announcements I wanted to make, and my mods already know about it. I don't know if either of them are here. They're pretty busy this time of year, but I had a very important announcement for everyone, and this does change everything from here on out. I'm not gonna lie. One of the biggest things that happened while I was gone was a life-changing event for me. Uh, I still remember the day, and I still remember how much of a shock I was in when this happened. Um, on September 10th, 2025, Charlie Kirk was martyred. I was not like an avid follower of Charlie, but I knew who he was, and I followed and watched a few of his clips and videos, clips of him at debates, this, that, and the other. I'd listened to a few interviews with him. Um, and something that a lot of people did not know about me uh, for the majority of my time on the internet is that I am a Christian conservative. I've been a Christian since I was about 13 years old, and I am about to be 37, so 24 years. I have not been great about living out that faith. Um, I kind of would struggle to find the middle ground because I knew a bunch of people that were not Christians like me, and I didn't want to push them away. I always wanted to be friends with people, regardless of what we believed. Now, there are some hard lines that I just will not draw, and things like that. There are some lines I will not cross. Um, but yeah, I've been going through some stuff, man, but I don't really want to talk about it on stream. Other than that, streams have been decent, been playing lots of games. Good, Megan. I'm sorry for whatever you're going through. I will be praying for you. You don't have to tell me what it is. I will put it down and I will be sure to pray for you. Whatever the situation is, I pray that you get through it and that you're stronger, more courageous, and a more awesome person at the end of it. You already are, to be honest with you, Megan. I think you're a great person anyway. You're one of the few that kind of like actually did like hang out with me and come support me on my streams. Like it's kind of I would always have those days where I'm like I'm not sure if anyone's like here or if anyone's listening to me, right? But you, Two Dogs, Shads, and a few others have always kind of shown up and occasionally, and I'm like I know you guys are busy too, so I'm like man, that means a lot. Um, but back to what I was talking about. Um, I have no intentions of becoming like a political commentator or a pastor on like streams and stuff like that. But there are going to be times I talk about my faith, and I might make some not so politically correct jokes, especially if I'm around certain. It also means that I can break out the Trump impersonation from time to time. Um, Thank you, Megan. I try. I try. Um, I have my moments, and I'm not perfect. And as I said, I do not do a great job a lot of the times living out my Christian faith. I try, I really do, but I fall short a lot. I really do. But the verse that really kind of stuck out to me is one that I've come back to a lot in my life. Let me look for it. I love when you just go to open your Bible and you go right past the scripture you want to share. Or actually, hit it. That happens too. All right. So, gotta be you and the real ones will follow and stay. Reminding myself of it too. Real. That is real. And like that's the thing. Like when I told my mods that I was gonna do this, like about a month or so ago, I was like, look, you guys don't have to stay on as my mods if you don't want to. Like if you don't agree with this or you don't want to be part of this, it's fine. I get it. I'm not gonna ask you to. I'm not gonna ask you to be like me either. Um, in the spirit of that, though, Megan, we're going to go to Joshua 1:9, and this is when God is commissioning the leader of the Israelites. Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be fearful. The Lord your God is with you wherever you go. So there's even more instances in the Bible. I think it says do not fear over 300 times. And if God says something multiple times, it must be very important. And I think it is. There's a lot of things to be afraid of. You can be afraid of speaking out. You can be afraid of confronting a friend or an enemy. I don't know about you guys, but confronting a friend is always harder than confronting an enemy for me. Confronting people to begin with is already hard. Confronting a friend is even harder because what if I lose my friend? What if they don't want to be around me anymore? What if the enemy that I confront because I have a problem with them, what if they respond in a really violent way and I'm not trying to be violent? It's scary. But as the verse says, the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. So for those of you that believe like me, he's with you everywhere you go. Doesn't matter where, when, or how, he is there with you. And that I really want to share with you. I am not going to be a very perfect example a lot, and that is something that I fear a lot. Is um, everything I do is going to be on the internet forever. Like that is kind of a reality. Your content is going to be on the internet forever. So true. It really is though, and like that's kind of the microscope you live in, and or we live under. Because I was talking about if friendships are so easily broken, then they didn't want to be your friend anyway. Exactly. Um, that's something I've had to. I know I'm not the only one. Like I lost friends without telling them I was a Christian conservative. So, and it was over very little things. So I worried so much about not running them away with what I believe that they left anyway over something even of less importance. Um, and honestly, there's always been this like, and I know churches are bad about this too, but I'm fortunate that the church I'm visiting right now isn't like this. But people are so afraid to talk politics and religion, and I get why, because you're going to run someone off. But like, if you really want to test a friendship, though, if you have to talk about those things, and like, you've really got a good friend when they may not agree with you, but they still want to be friends with you, and they still like support you in what you do, because they can look past those differences. Because there's good things that people that don't believe like I do still do. Like I know friends that don't believe they have kids. I congratulate them. There's good things we can commend them for. I've had people that are non-believers like be willing to give their shirt off their back for me. Not just my Christian friends, but my non-Christian friends too. I almost said unchristian friends. That sounds weird. Um, I almost said unchristian friends. That sounds weird. Um, so it's really important to remember that despite the differences in beliefs, like we're still people, and good friends like that are difficult. They really are. I heard a saying the other day: "I'd rather have 4 quarters than 100 pennies." When it talks about friends, and that is accurate. Is accurate. And as I get older, the less friends I have, and it's because not everyone's going to stay with you through the things you go with. Honestly, I don't know where the passages of the Bible. I don't know where the passages of the Bible, and I know they're in the Gospels: Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Jesus had his 12 disciples, the closest people to him. When he was in the Garden of Gethsemane, they couldn't even they couldn't even stay awake for him, to be with him. Sometimes that happens. You know, there are going to be moments in your life. It is a good example. It's a good example, and I mean, because God's the one you lean on the most as a believer like me, But it is a commandment to not forsake the fellowship, and that's been something that I've struggled with the most as far as my walk is staying in a church. A little background about me. We're not going to go full testimony today. That's probably going to be another stream. Um, I was on staff at a couple of churches, volunteer staff, not paid or anything like that. I was on the worship team, kind of backup worship leader of some sort at a very small church. I was on worship team, and I was a sound guy at another. And I loved doing it. I really did. But over time, I kind of got disillusioned with the politics that are involved sometimes. And that's even simple things. I'll just be like, oh, it's politics. I'm tired of this. And like, because of the things I'm into, like video games, rock and metal sounding music, primarily, I listen to other stuff too. It was kind of hard to find other people church building. Because the other thing I'm not happy about is most worship music, I'm going to be honest. But I kind of let that get in the way, if you guys know what I'm talking about. I kind of let that get in the way of forming good, solid friendships despite that. And I'm getting past that now, but the friends I have now, not all of us are Christians. There's one that's kind of on the verge of believing. We'll see where her path goes. And I have a few friends that are kind of that are kind of like, I believe, but I don't really know about church. There's some work to do there, and I've been there. It wasn't until I was unchurched for probably a decade, up until the Sunday after Charlie Kirk was assassinated. I'd been on the fence about going to a church for a while. My girlfriend goes to one. I just wasn't, right? Well, here we are over a month and a half later, and I'm still going there. It's still hard. I haven't assimilated or joined a life group or anything like that yet, but it's been one of the best decisions I've made, because trying to walk alone on that road is really hard, and you're not supposed to do it that way. So yeah, I just wanted to get that off my chest and let you guys know I'm not the most eloquent with words, so I apologize if it was very disjointed, choppy, that and the other. There will be probably people that don't come back around. That's fine. I don't require people to be believing like me, and I don't intend to start that to be my friends or viewers or anything like that or the other. But thank you all for sticking around through that. As I said, I have no intention of being a political commentator or a preacher, but I will bring up my faith sometimes. In fact, I kind of had an idea to share a verse at the beginning of every stream if one came to me. I don't want to force it and make it too routine and boring, because I know if you if you kind of over repeat something, it gets a little old. But anyway, wow, I was really nervous to do that. So we are going to move on now to a little game called Hollow Knight. And I'm very excited about this because I wanted to play Hollow Knight for a while. Alright. Let me go ahead and launch it. And once I have it launched, I will switch screens. Hopefully there's not too many issues. Because I didn't test this game during my test streamings. I do have a guide for this, so just keep that in mind. That's really loud. Hollow Knight, let's go! Alright, now I need to make sure... I need to change the settings. Oops. Alright, give me a second to update it on Kick. I gotta give it a second to do what it needs to do here. There we go. Alright, let me know if the game or anything is too loud, and I will, I'll do what I need to do. We'll go ahead and clear that. Yep. And let's see. Let's go. In wilds beyond, they speak your name with reverence and regret, for none could tame our savage souls, yet you the challenge met. Under palest watch, you taught, you changed, base instincts were redeemed. A world you gave to bug and beast, as they had never dreamed. Off I go. Stuff. Alright, I can't go that way. I do have a guide just to help me out a little bit here. Oh! Wasn't paying attention. Alright, hopefully I'm not dropping too many frames here. I apologize if I am. Oh. Ah. This is not a good sign. Kind of crap. That's fine, though. Higher being, these words are for you alone. Your great strength marks you amongst us. Focus your soul, and you shall achieve feats of which others can only dream. Collect soul by striking enemies. Once enough soul is collected, hold B to focus soul. Or circle if you're me on a PS4 controller. Yeah. Oh. Ow. That was mean. Wait a minute. Oh! I'm dumb. We're off to a stellar beginning here. Give me some stuff. Oh! Yep, alright. We're good. Ow! Already having to heal a ton. Oh! I see, said the blind man as he picked it. Oh. I meant to not. Okay. Ow! Ow! Oh! Anything else down here? Nope. Oh, I did that. Oh. Nope. I don't have enough. Oh. Aha! That's how we do it. Hehe, lol. Higher beings, these words are for you alone. Within our lands, do not hide your true form. Let all bask in your majesty, for only this kingdom can produce one system. Okay. Fury of the Fallen. Equip a charm to activate its powerful abilities. Charms menu while resting in a bench. Okay. Oh, we're back here again. Okay. Already done that. Alright, so let's work our way up now. Okay. Now I got the gist of it. Woo! Alright. Higher beings, these words for you alone. Beyond this point, you enter the land of King Creator. Step across the threshold and obey our laws. Bear witness to the last and only civilization, the Eternal Kingdom, Hallownest. There we go. Fading town. Oh there, traveler. I'm afraid there's only me left to offer welcome. Our town's fallen quiet, you see. The other residents, they've all disappeared, headed down that well, one by one, to the caverns below. Used to be there was a great kingdom beneath our town. It's long fell to ruin. It still draws folks into its depths. My internet has dropped horribly. Yeah, it